Well, unfortunately, the demo for Anthem is over. I say unfortunately because I didn't get to spend enough time playing this demo and getting a full consensus of how I feel towards it. I'm trying to put all biases aside in the sense of, you know how I am with EA and Bethesda. I do have a deep-seated dislike and distrust for both companies at this point, but I shouldn't let my feelings cloud my judgment on games. Starting off, the overall graphical quality of the game isn't bad, but it is a bit of a far cry from what the game was originally shown to be at E3. Granted, the developers did say that the demo that we were playing was a 6-week build of the game. Whether this is true or not remains to be seen. I guess no one's really going to know till the 15th of February, when the dubious launch system that EA has implemented, starting with, I believe, Battlefield 5 is when I really got a load of it. It's back again for Anthem, to no one's surprise and much to many of our chagrin. Basically, you can get early access to Anthem, the full game, on the 15th of February if you're an Origin Access Premier PC player, meaning you pay for their subscription service. You can play it first for only 10 hours on the 15th of February if you're on Origin Access Basic with PC or Origin Access with Xbox One. But if you really want to get a load of this game on the 15th, you have to be on the PC version. The full game launches to everyone else, including pre-orders, on the 22nd. It's fucking stupid, honestly. But it seems that EA made a little bit of money doing this with Battlefield 5. It yielded fruitful results. Henceforth, the business end will obviously take advantage of this because that's just how they fucking are. They're very driven by money, and it's disgusting, really. It takes away from the enjoyment of the hobby. The whole point of a hobby is to enjoy it. And this is why gaming is going to crash soon, because many people are starting to look and see that the enjoyment is being eked out by never-ending crunches for profit. A lot of squandering of resources for promotion and paying influencers to have favorable mentions of the game or streaming it early, and not enough effort put into just the overall polish of the game. But supposedly from this Brazilian website, I believe it's Voxel, BioWare explains the structure of microtransactions present in Anthem. This was sent to me by João. I believe it's Portuguese, because he's from Brazil. The article reads as, in the future, the premium currency will be used to unlock javelins, the armors which function as central form of gameplay. According to BioWare, the new options that will be added will offer new sites of gameplay, not something totally necessary to the experience of the full content of the RPG. Basically, EA is probably going to lock even javelins behind a paywall. At first, it was assumed, they'd just be skins and whatnot. But apparently there might just be something cool that there's a possibility they're more likely to get money out of you for. And it would make sense to make some javelins paywalled. That way people will actually pay for it. Like skins, I think most people could live without because you can customize your armor pretty extensively. But a seriously beefed out looking javelin, no amount of color correction or changing will ever recreate that. But I'm not going to go into this in detail because it would take far too long. I'm just giving my impressions of this. I will talk more on Anthem's many options of release later because it is literally a fucking pie chart I'm looking at right now. It looks like a calendar. Pretty much after you get past the PC version and paying EA specifically for the premium access crap, that's about it. Everything seems to be standard fare down the line. But it can be confusing looking at all of this crap. It's kind of stupid. It's over the top. Multiple launches, multiple versions, bells and whistles everywhere. And frankly, it really doesn't matter. If there's one thing I've noticed about getting a pre-order special armor, nobody really gives a flying fuck in game. Nobody ever stops you in game and goes, oh my God, you've got the legendary Dawn of Armor pack. You're cool. But back on point with the overall consensus of the game. The demo played fairly well. I found myself shooting for 4K 60 FPS. I could have definitely achieved that with a 1080 Ti, but I was trying to keep visual fidelity high, so I compromised for around 50 to 55 FPS with decent visuals. From what I can see, If you let the visuals go down on Anthem, it looks really crummy. The demo itself was fairly hollow. I'm hoping that it'll be more fleshed out and that there'll be a more lively hub, because frankly right now, it feels very dead. For this to be a sprawling area full of people living their lives, you see the same animations play out over and over again. You'll even see a female character sitting Indian style, but her feet dangling off the side of the little pond she's sitting on. It made no sense to me. Border effects are acceptable, but I also found that moving in between doors was very strange because they just open automatically on their own. Why there's no animation for the character to open the door on their own really kind of makes me question the thought process here. I mean, for immersion. The area where you finally walk towards your javelin, it doesn't seem as alive as the E3 demo. Character models are kind of lackluster. I mean, real lackluster. Some of them are so sort of bland you'd think you're playing a last generation console version of the game. Needless to say, I was disappointed. Dialogue choices were pretty much either yes or no sort of style. Once again, I'm hoping this changes, but honestly, it feels empty. Is this supposed to be an RPG or something? What is this game? Because frankly, I didn't find myself being interested at all in the world, which I feel is a fatal flaw here. If Anthem is to survive, they really need to be able to immerse people in the world itself. Maybe the demo just doesn't give enough of a taste of that, or maybe, just maybe, it's a great idea but not executed properly, which oftentimes can be the Achilles heel of many a great IP or even music or movie. I will say, when you walk up to your javelin, it's beautiful. It's probably the best rendered thing in the damn area. There's probably more detail in the back of your javelin than there is in most of the people in the entire area put together. The UI and navigating missions can be slightly tedious. It's not that it's ugly, it's not that catchy. It's just kind of there, it's bland. It's nothing that tickles your berries, if you know what I mean. So it took me a hot minute to understand how to do it. But once I got the hang of it, I was into a mission pretty quickly. It was never really an issue getting anywhere. Loading time seemed acceptable, but then again, I'm on a pretty beefy rig, so someone on a lesser computer, I couldn't tell you what you'd be dealing with. Once you're inside of the match, or one of the first levels, the first area, your first real mission, you get a taste of your javelin. Flying can be a little confusing at times, especially if you're not used to using a mouse to direct your character. I could see this being so much easier on a controller, but someone who's not used to flight sims could totally fuck themselves up with this. Once again, not really a gripe, it's more a personal preference. Shooting seems responsive. The overall area's nice to look at. They're not as good as the E3 demo, but at least acceptable. Your javelin is cool to look at. You get the vibe that you're Iron Man. And unless you really have a hard-on for Tony Stark, I could see this getting old kind of quickly. You'll be like, yeah, whatever. Javelin, whoopee, fly around, shoot stuff. And sadly, that's kind of all Anthem is in the beginning stages of this demo. It was just literally fly around, shoot stuff. Go here, shoot stuff. That's it. Literally, you were playing The Division with mech suits. I had the same feeling. And much like The Division, it starts off, you're kind of like, hey, this isn't bad, this is kind of cool. But then after 30 minutes to an hour, you realize this is all you're going to be doing. And the background chatter from supposed characters in the game is nothing more than background noise. I didn't care what they had to say. I didn't find it interesting. Their banter was actually quite boring and seemed almost forced.
Even the way it dies is unnerving.
I wonder how many views it'll take me to forget that thing. I'm gonna go with 8.
One for each of the tyrant's legs.
No more scorpion talk, please.
It's like that typical voice acting you get in E3 demos. You've seen The Division E3 stuff where the people are talking to each other like it's some sort of real major operation and you're supposed to get immersed in it, but you can't because the guy you're playing with is running around in circles, or emoting or doing a dab. And it's just like, all right, whatever. I get it. This moment is supposed to be tense. I'm supposed to be feeling something from this. But overall, you never felt anything. You just felt like you're going through the motions. And that was my huge issue with Anthem. It was a lot of going through the motion. Run, shoot, rocket, run, fly, rocket, shoot, over and over again. Ammo scarcity isn't really a problem. As long as an enemy drops dead, you'll get ammo and health. There's never any real tense moments. I'm guessing it's because this is supposed to be the first stages, but really, it was just tedious. There's a lot of hand-holding. There's a lot of being told where to go. Point A, point B, point A, point B. I didn't feel any freedom. Even the ability to fly just didn't matter to me, sadly. There's a lot of visual effects, a lot of particle effects, a lot of stuff going on, and honestly, I think it's meant to be eye candy, you know? For people with a low attention span to feel like they're doing something. If there's a big explosion or some lighting effects going off, you get to feel like you're Thor from the Avengers movie or something. But for someone who has more discerning taste, you find yourself just going, all right, whatever, another over-the-top explosion, whoop-de-doo. After you complete a couple missions and you get to customize your javelin, you then see where Anthem really shines. In customizing your suit. Frankly, it's not bad. There's a multitude of options. And sadly, this was the most enjoyment I found out of Anthem, was customizing my suit. That's not a good thing, because if the best part of your game is suit customization, that says the rest of the game is quite boring. I should feel the same sense of interest that I felt from customizing a suit in the rest of the game. I also felt there should have been more weapon customization. Like really, if you're customizing your suit, why not your weapon too? It felt kind of like I was limited to one gimmick. And the level of detail in customizing your javelin is insane. I mean, it's cool and all, but then you look at it, you think, the lack of detail in the living hub area is just sad. Another thing while you're messing around with the customization in Anthem, you'll realize quite quickly in the beginning stages of the demo was this. You didn't get paid a lot of money in the game. I'd complete a mission and maybe get 25 coins or something.
What the fuck is this?
Which is the equivalent of 25 cents in Anthem, I'd assume. And when you see some of the leaked armors and stuff that were supposed to be added to the game that you could pay real money for that were shown as $20, but everyone's like, oh, they're going to cut the price in half. I'm saying like $10 for like skins and stuff is still too much, especially for this game. But point being, if the money you make while grinding is that low and a special skin is 40,000 coins, that would take a lot of time. I mean, I don't even want to bother doing the math, but if it took me 30 minutes to an hour to make 25 coins and a special skin is going to cost 40,000 coins later on, you can assume it's a lot of fucking grinding. But hopefully the missions will provide better payouts later on, though it didn't seem to be the case in the opening stages of this demo. I will say that after a while, when you get into, or what I did by mistake, going off into missions my character wasn't leveled up enough for, that was when the game was of some slight interest, simply because the enemies were tougher and it required a lot more out of me to defeat them without dying. But once again, that novelty wore off quickly. The boss fight that was also in the game wasn't bad. It was fairly interesting, though kind of repetitive. It was interesting, probably because I was sick of just bashing on the same enemies over and over again that were super easy to kill. I would hope that there are more battles like this on a regular basis. But not to draw this out too long, because God knows how long I could talk about this. I don't want it to be forever. The feeling I have about Anthem is this. It's okay, but in a sort of mediocre sense. You know? It's just there. It's something I could picture playing if I had nothing better to do. Absolutely nothing. Like if I was waiting for a game I actually wanted to come out, I'd probably play Anthem to kill some time. It's not a game I'd sit there and go, I look forward to playing, or I have to play, or I need to play. This is literally EA's answer to The Division or Destiny. Though I'd say this is slightly more enjoyable than Destiny to me. But that's just personal preference. I really didn't like Destiny. But there's really nothing here currently. I would hope that everything they say about the game is true and that this is just a 6-week-old demo of the game and not anywhere near the finished product, because what I played here wasn't awe-inspiring. It doesn't seem like something that would do well for a prolonged period, because the gameplay becomes stale, it becomes repetitive, and outside of the once-in-a-while boss fight, I couldn't really tell you anything that would make you want to buy this. Now, I'm sure there are people who liked it, and, well, good for them, hopefully. I'm glad you can find something you dig. But for me personally, it's a very bland game. This, sadly, isn't the BioWare I remember. You know, I remember playing BioWare games and being hooked to them. You know, playing for hours and not wanting to get off, or looking forward to getting out of school and playing it again or something. Whereas to this, I played it for probably 2-3 hours, and then I didn't touch it again because I had other engagements. There was a time where if I was playing a BioWare game, if I could squeeze in time to play it, I would. To hell with the consequences. With this, it's just kind of like, it's okay. It's not horribly bad, but it's not good either. It's mediocre. You know, it's nothing too hyper special. Maybe I'd have to try the finished game to get a better consensus on it, because I kind of wanted to give it a shot. But right now, it's pretty meh. Oh God, I forgot they have emotes in this. Jesus Christ. Should have known there'd be stupid emotes. You're fighting giant bugs. Let me do some dancing and posing. Because, you know, after getting into a fist fight, I'd have to take time to dab, even if I won or lost. And on that note, I'm the hell out of here, man. I've been at this computer far too long editing videos for the day. Rate, comment, subscribe, only you so choose to. If not, to hell with it. Because you know me, I can't ask anyone to give more shit than me in the age of apathy. But for those of you who do follow me, thank you very much. Because frankly, YouTube and my dog are the only things that I have that matter to me on some level. The community here, the people that give a crap about me, the people who send letters and whatnot, it's the only good thing I got left. Because people in my personal life, I swear to God, dude, I wish I could tell you guys, the way people try to just use me and see no intrinsic value to me. And then I get on YouTube and I do this sort of stuff and people give a crap. And it reminds me that I have some fucking worth to the world. But, you know, stuff like this should stay on my podcast, not here. I've wasted enough of your time. I'm out of here.